I recognize that guy. Who is he?
It's Gavin Newsom, and I'd like to see the headline that comes in here.
Okay.
I don't know where the headline is, but the
By the way,
headline, I can tell you the headline.
Who's Gavin Newsom?
He's the governor of California.
Okay, so everyone knows California is very
it's one of the
progressive,
biggest, you know. It's one of the biggest economies in the world.
Yes, and it's all about like environmental. I remember when we lived there, it was a nightmare because you have to smog your car all the time.
Yeah, and there's all these rules about like battery freaking disposal and stuff. I don't know.
Wow,
that could be
it was tough. You know, like it's one of those things you can't just pour your antifreeze in your garden anymore. You have to like make it a just you know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
Anyway, just
can't throw batteries in the ocean anymore.
Just kidding. Anyway, so what's all the?
So there's supposed to be a headline there that says that he is going to visit China.
So is he in China now?
No, he's on the way to Israel or the way back. He's going to stop off in China for one day.
Okay.
And he's doing that to talk about global warming solutions, right?
Okay.
Now, I am not going to do any conjecture whatsoever, but I'm going to put something out there.
Yeah.
What I want to say first is that looking at this from the outside, it looks awfully like he's going to be quite unpopular for even visiting China with no plans of even bringing up anything that should be corrected in terms of bad behavior.
Sure.
At least from the media's perspective so far. Why don't you play the clip?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's China.
I'm sorry. That's China.
Yeah, I like how they just
global leader,
dump that stuff in the river.
China's the global leader of green technology.
Yeah.
And they're really doing their best. The Chinese government efforts to clean up all of the pollution, and then number two, also reduce the carbon output because they're doing the most out of the whole world, right?
Yeah, but the most damage to the earth.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry, I screwed that up. Anyway, California Governor Newsom heads to China for climate-focused meetings. Oh, crap. Sorry, I got interrupted again.
What's that?
I'll just read it since it came up. I'll just read it.
Sure.
It says, China, the world's biggest emitter of carbon dioxide, produces 12.7 billion metric tons of emissions annually. That dwarfs U.S. emissions, currently at about 5.9 billion tons annually. So more than double the carbon emissions of the U.S., by the way, which are going down.
Yeah, the U.S. ones are.
I think China, the carbon emissions are actually going up.
Yeah, they've greenlit a whole bunch of new coal power plants.
But you know what the good news is?
What?
Gavin Newsom is actually going to China to discuss these things because China is actually the global leader in green technology and is at the forefront of carbon and global warming.
Well, can you explain to me why there's this red river in China here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we got interrupted again.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just read it though.
Okay, sure.
China's water supply has been contaminated by the dumping of toxic human and industrial waste. Pollution-induced algae blooms cause the surface of China's lakes to turn bright green, sometimes red.
Well, this is obviously like a chemical off.
Can be chemical as well. But greater problems may lurk beneath the surface. Groundwater is in 90% of China's cities is contaminated to the point where 90% of fresh water in China is unusable. And when I say unusable, you might think, oh, well, you'll have to boil it. No. The 10% that is usable is the stuff that you boil.
Yeah.
China has absolutely destroyed its water supply. But anyway.
But that's okay.
He's going.
Newsom dude's going to China, to maybe pick up some tips on green technology?
Well,
because
here's
China's
the deal.
a leader?
If I see any evidence of Newsom coming back and doing press releases about how China is actually progressing in the front of green technology, I'm gonna have a conniption.
Yeah,
my head will explode.
Yeah.
I will die of disappointment.
Well, you know what's going to happen if he goes there? They're going to take him to like a wind farm or one of those massive big solar farms and say, look, we make lots of this, therefore we're good at it. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Let's see here.
Oh, what? Oh, you've been interrupted again.
Sorry, I just got interrupted. It says, it actually says here, it says air pollution is responsible for about 2 million deaths in China per year. Of those deaths, it says 2 million, by the way.
That's a lot.
Of those deaths, ambient air pollution alone caused more than 1 million deaths. Just ambient air pollution.
So, yeah, it's just you walking around breathing your air in your city.
Yes.
Okay.
Where are we here?
This, you said ambient air. Okay, while household air pollution from cooking with polluting fuels and technologies caused another 1 million deaths in the same period in China.
Yes, so it says that the amount of deaths that were coming from China were 2 million just from the air pollution. Yeah. So let's see the next thing.
Okay. Well, apparently that's okay.
Oh, it says California Gavin Newsom to make one-day visit to Israel en route to China.
No, so he's only going to Israel for one day. He's probably going to China for a long time.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I wonder which one's safer to visit right now, to be honest.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
Anyway, let's see what's next.
China's CO2 emissions increased an estimate of 10% year on year in the second quarter of 2023, rebounding approximately 1% above the record levels of 2021.
Interesting.
So they actually increased compared to the rest of the world.
You know, this is what really pisses me off, because all you ever see in the mainstream media out there and in all these blogs and everything is how great China is such a leader in green technology.
Yeah.
But the actual facts don't bear that out.
No.
The actual facts are, guess what? It has increased more than its record levels from before. And people are like, but they're doing like, look at these solar farms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing people don't realize is that to produce those solar panels generates a lot of pollution.
Right.
And then a lot of those solar panels are ineffective, not even hooked up. It's just for face.
Right.
You know, it's the land of shortcuts and facades. And so, yeah, a lot of what they're doing with those EVs as well, dumping the EVs, you know, and all the technology to produce those EVs, really damaging the environment. It's not helping the environment.
It's not.
No.
But what I do want to say
Yeah.
is that I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Could
Sure.
be fine. Could be fine. Maybe it's just to say like, in our great country of America, we figured out what to do, and like
You know what I hope for all Californians out there, because the one thing that really annoyed me about living in California was having to smog my 1978 Trans Am, is that Newsom goes to China, sees he's going to see all the fluff stuff, but I hope he gets a peek, like when he's not on the official guided tour, and he's like, you know what, China's really emitting a lot of shit. Maybe we can go back and say, you know what, maybe it's okay to pollute a little bit. Maybe we can lift some of those smog bans,
Yes.
I think maybe make Californians' lives a little easier.
I suppose. I feel like that issue doesn't affect everyone.
Sure.
But, it is what it is. Today we're talking about brutal schools.
So you'd have like Head Boy, and I guess he'd be the...
That sounds real bad.
It sounds so bad. We used to still get the cane, like we'd get whipped with like...
I forgot you're like 150 years old. I got in trouble for chewing a Tic Tac. Like a lot of the schools in China are just an absolute mess. It's like chaos.
Isn't that such a China scene? Look at the freaking sky is
the
gray and horrible.
And the empty construction with a crane.
Yeah, exactly.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's like got the like ghost city building that'll never be completed.
Yeah,
like if you did any sports in school, you're already a better like soldier than any of these kids that do this military training are.
Like all of this is a charade.
Yeah, this is nonsense.
They've been showing this stuff around.
This is some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Don't teach kids to hate, especially don't teach them to hate a specific nation or race.
When I close my eyes, I can almost sing it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind